Arsenal didn't just drop 2 points against City. We might have lost one of our most dangerous weapons. Noni Madueke's injury can potentially reshape our season. Let's break down how big this really is. Arsenal didn't just drop 2 points against City. We might have actually suffered a bigger setback. Noni Madueke limped off at halftime with an injury, and while scans are still ongoing, early signs are showing that he might be out for a while. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what Arsenal would lose without Madueke in the team, how Mikel Arteta might adjust the squad, and what this means for our season going forward. Stick around because this could be one of the turning points in our campaign. Let's start with Madueke himself. I remember when the news broke out that he was going to sign from Chelsea. He was playing the Club World Cup with the Blues. I think they were in the semi-final stage or thereabout. And Arsenal had completed a 50 million transfer for him. It was quite a divisive signing. There were some backlash, terrible messages that were sent to him, and I was baffled by it actually. This is a player that was very outstanding in his time in Chelsea, good output, top for dribbling, top in the for final top touches, top for carries, top for shots. Like this was a proper baller that we're about to get, and Arsenal fans were somewhat, flustered by his signing. When you think of the fact that we had the likes of Raheem Sterling, the likes of Reece Nelson as the Saka replacements or Saka backups, winning a player like Madueke was a massive upgrade. However, since joining Arsenal, Madueke has been a very unique weapon in our attack. Unlike Saka, who combines intelligence with delivery, Madueke is pure chaos, making life a living hell for defenders. He's direct, he's aggressive, and he's very unpredictable. He isolates fullbacks, destroys them 1v1, and forces teams to defend deeper than they intend to. And guess what? The numbers actually back this up. In his Premier League career, Madueke attempts 3 dribbles per game, while in the Champions League, the number almost doubles with about 6 dribbles per game, prove that he brings the fight against elite opposition. Looking at this season, he has averaged 13 dribbles attempted per 90 with 6 successful dribbles, which puts his success rate at around 46%. This is elite territory for any winger who thrives on risk and chaos. And it's not just dribbling. Madueke has already produced 8 key passes in the Premier League this season, and he ranks among the top 3 for chances created per 90. This is creativity that Arsenal simply cannot replace. One of the key challenges Arsenal had last season as a club was our lack of creativity. When Saka got injured, there was so much burden on Odegaard, and he could not really carry the team as expected, and the team became very one-dimensional. Our attacking play struggled. Even though I hate saying this, but Arsenal had 14 games where we led by 1-0, but we could not create enough chances to kill those games off. From those 14 games, Arsenal dropped points from winning positions on 9 occasions. Madueke's movement stretches defenses. While he drifts inside, he allows the likes of Timber to overlap, making him more dangerous. You can see the amount of time Timber has gone into the byline because of the presence of Madueke. As he cuts in, Timber occupies that width, and so far, 2 of them have actually combined very well this campaign. Saka obviously suffered an injury against Leeds United, when Madueke played on the left-hand side, showing versatility. But when that injury happened, Madueke switched to the right and even became more chaotic for the Leeds defenders. Against Nottingham Forest, he was amazing. Even against Athletic Bilbao, he did well as well. Man City was the last game that he played where he actually had the chance to score, but Donnarumma made a very good save. And even when Arsenal took on Liverpool in Anfield, Madueke was undoubtedly our best player. With him out of the picture, it's going to be a challenging issue for Arsenal because his presence gives the club that verticality that we sometimes lack. All Arsenal fans can attest to the fact that we were not, in quote, satisfied with our starting lineup against Manchester City. Obviously, William Saliba was going to start with Christian Mosquera. Like Mosquera has done very well in the club so far in the amount of games he has played. Saliba is still one of the most elite defenders in Europe. So it was a no-brainer when he was fit enough to take his chance back in the first team. One good thing I loved about was the fact that Saliba was fit a while ago, but Arteta had trust in Mosquera to play him against Nottingham Forest, to play him against Athletic Club in the Champions League, which allows Saliba to even get extra minutes of rest to become fully fit for the Manchester City game. If it was in the past, Saliba would have been rushed into action way beforehand and aggravated his injury. Gabriel played alongside him with Timber and the informed Calafiori in the defensive line. In midfield, Arsenal lacked creativity, and losing Odegaard to his shoulder injury, I expected it to be really easy at the very least, so it's a Nwaneri to play the right eight role. Unfortunately, Arteta went for Merino, Zubimendi, and Rice, an industrious pair, but we lack creativity. This basically meant that all the creative burden had to go to the flanks, with Leandro Trossard on one wing and Madueke on the other. But when Madueke left the pitch against City, Arsenal dynamics changed. Let's look at the first half. Arsenal were more balanced. Trossard was threatening from the left, no doubt, but Madueke was doing so much damage on the right. He was giving Nico O'Reilly a torrid time in the game, and Jeremy Doku had to track back a lot to double up just to help O'Reilly because he was being cooked. Once Madueke went off, our ship tilted. Suddenly, City weren't as worried as they were in the first half. Yes, Bukayo Saka came on, who is actually a better player than Madueke, no doubt. But he didn't offer us that same impetus that Madueke was giving us in the first half. Funny enough, he was even drifting towards the left, maybe a particular instruction that was given to him. But that impact that we had seen with Madueke in the first half was gone. I was thinking that Madueke was going to switch to the left-hand side, with Saka playing on the right-hand side. And when we saw that he was the one that was subbed at halftime, Arsenal fans kind of went bonkers. Little did we know that it's actually because of an injury. He had told Arteta that he was feeling something on his knee, and obviously the medical staff had accessed him in the dressing room, and it ended that he was not good enough or he was not fit enough to return in the second half. When Madueke was no longer on the right flank, City pressed higher, Rodri advanced further up, and of course, those passing lanes from Merino became tighter. Now, here's where the stats matter. Just over 300 minutes of Premier League action this season, Madueke has taken 5 shots, 2 on target, and has built an XG of 0.29. If you add that to his 8 key passes, you've got a winger who directly generates chances even without scoring. Without Madueke, Arsenal has lost that spark in attack, and the second half against City basically showed it. However, I was also happy to see Emilio play to the middle because it actually gave us a different dynamic. But Arsenal really lost a player in Madueke when he left the pitch at the end of the first half. So where does that leave us? The obvious replacement should be Bukayo Saka. But remember, Saka's fitness has to be carefully managed. We cannot train into having too many minutes that can risk a potential setback. Saka was someone that has played over 200 games for the club, and last season, it took its toll. A simple pass against Crystal Palace that he was trying to receive in December 2024, and he tore his hamstring. That kept him out for 4 months, 4 good months. And of course, when he came back from that injury, he was not the same player. He was kind of, managing himself and all that. And his output was also affected. Going into the new campaign, Saka scored a beautiful goal against Leeds United. But guess what? He suffered another injury on his hamstring. Luckily for us, this was a different hamstring from the one that had the major injury last year. But he's still really bad for a couple of games. He got injury against Leeds, he missed Nottingham Forest, he missed Athletic Club. Luckily for him, there's also international break that added 2 more weeks. And obviously, that must have helped him to recuperate further, but Arsenal lost account for the best part of 4 to 5 weeks. Trossard is another option. He's reliable, he's technically sharp, but he doesn't replicate Madueke's profile. He prefers to come inside from the left-hand side, linking up play rather than stretching defenses. Trossard is a very good player, he's a close player for us now, but he can't offer us what Madueke was doing on that flank. Those direct runs, that unpredictability, Trossard doesn't necessarily give us, especially when he's in possession of the ball. Martinelli is someone that can be moved to the right as well, but we're saying that he has not really been as effective in that position. He has also really been effective on the left. Funny enough, He's playing his best football for us when he plays in the middle. And with the center forward position that we cannot afford to give him right now, we've got the best of Victor Gyökeres. Obviously, if Gyökeres moves into the inside left channel, it will afford Martinelli a chance to cut in centrally and, of course, show his good finishing. His natural instinct still remains to cut inside onto his right foot rather than his left. And of course, there's the youth angle. Folks like Max Darman, Itamani has also played on the right wing before. That time when Saka was injured for a considerable chunk last season, Arteta played him as a right winger. And he was decent. He wasn't like as effective. He was not basically lighting up any fireworks, but at least he could do a job there. What we have seen so far is that Arteta trusts him more as a central attacking midfielder, playing the Odegaard role, rather than playing on the left-hand side in the Saka role or the Madueke role. Here's the key. None of these options match Madueke's statistical profile. Arsenal don't just need a warm body on that right flank. We need someone that will be giving us 3+ dribbles per game and, of course, key passes every other appearance, as well as, most importantly, a consistent shot threat. That will be very difficult to replicate. I trust Bukayo Saka. He's our best player and our talisman all this while, and with Madueke out injured, Saka is now back to playing 90 minutes, and I really hope that Arsenal can manage his minutes better because he's not fully fit. Obviously, he would have been the best person to, without blinking twice, to be in Madueke's position, and I really expect him to play there regularly now that he's back to full fitness. But Arsenal has to really manage his minutes. We have Port Vale tomorrow, we have Newcastle in the weekend, we have Olympiacos in the Champions League, we have West Ham. So you can see the games will keep coming thick and fast, and you cannot keep playing like a 90 for all those games. I think that will need to really manage his minutes. If Madueke is going to be out for a couple of weeks, I think I will need to tweak some things. One would be to rely on overlapping fullbacks more. Obviously, we have Julian Timber, who is an elite defender. The way he defends, the way he attacks, so beautiful. We also have Ben White, who can also do a decent job in that right flank too. So we will need White and Timber to keep bombing forward on the right-hand flank to create width for us, even if someone like Trossard or Martinelli or even Saka decides to cut inside. That way, we don't lose our wide threat completely. Another option would be to overload centrally. We have seen Rice push higher up this season. We have seen Odegaard drift wide. Saka make those third man runs. This could create a new attacking balance, but it might make us more predictable. Option 3 would be to change the front three rotation. We can start experimenting with maybe playing Martinelli on the right-hand side or Saka more often to keep opposition defenders guessing. But let's be honest, whatever we do cannot replicate the value of getting someone who attempts double-digit dribbles per 90 and is nearly as half successful. Madueke's ball carrying is almost a system itself. Saka carries the ball, but not as Madueke. I'm very, very sad to see him suffer this injury that he has. And we really need to adapt as a team to, mitigate his absence. There's also the psychological side. Madueke was already starting to settle in his life at Arsenal, building confidence with games, and the fans were loving him. The same fans that were concerned about him when he first joined are the fans that are very unhappy with him suffering this injury. He was building confidence with his fans, was building confidence with his teammates, and losing him right now would affect his reading very hard. As for the squad, it's another reminder of how fine the margins are. I've already seen fitness issues this season with Kai Havertz, with Bukayo Saka, with William Saliba. And prior to that, we had the likes of Gabriel Jesus still out injured. Every time a player gets injured, it doesn't just test our tactical flexibility, it also tests our mentality. But one thing that I'm very happy about this season is that Arsenal have done very well to recruit quality players in all the different positions so we can be able to cope with the loss of Madueke. Fans are quite anxious because Madueke has brought something that we've lacked: unpredictability. Losing that spark could feel like a step backwards in games where one moment of brilliance makes the difference. And we're very happy with what we're seeing from Madueke this season. Yes, the output hasn't been there, but the consistent pressing, the consistent dribbles, the consistent key passes, creativity have been very influential for us. So what does this mean long term? If you just for a few reasons Madueke is going to be out injured, then of course you can manage We have Saka, we have Trossard, we have Martinelli, we have Dalman, we have Maneri. But if it stretches into months, then this can affect our January transfer plans. Do we look to go to the transfer window to buy another player, or do we double down on what we have and just trust the system to adapt? Ultimately, Arsenal are still strong enough to compete. As I said earlier, we have a very massive squad. But Madueke's injury is a reality check. This season, we will test our starting exile or our depth. And that depth has come into play in the games we have scored, we have won this season. Nottingham Forest, you saw what happened. Athletic Club, we brought two deep players from the bench, Martinelli and Trossard, who came and changed the game. So our depth will continue to be tested. And now, suffering an injury to a player like Madueke will also add to our problems. With Madueke gone, so has his dribbles, so has his key passes, so has his output and unpredictability gone as well. Arteta's job just got a whole lot harder. So Arsenal fans, I'd like to hear from you. How big of a blow is Madueke's injury? Can we cope without him? Or is this going to derail our momentum? Please drop your thoughts in the comments and smash that like button if you loved today's breakdown. And don't forget to subscribe to All About Arsenal for more content.